Hello and welcome to another round of Dark Helmet Racing out here in the iRacing world. I can almost talk this morning, or geez, this evening. We'll get together. But this is the Tuesday MX-5 Series here with Dark Helmet Racing League. My name is Morgan here at Cleveland Beamer Sim Sports, and I clearly was not ready to talk. We just started our 10-minute qualifying session. Which will then segue into our 15-minute sprint race. We'll have a short break for about 5 minutes, and then we'll have a 15-minute feature. We should have a special guest in the booth, but until then, we're going to watch these guys going around track while these guys are lapping. A couple announcements. Sunday is the last opportunity to get your entries in for the giveaway. So you needed 8 events to be able to be eligible for our giveaway. We're giving away some great stuff, including Cube Controls wheel, Percorny 5-inch touchscreen display, grid browse, iRacing dollars, mouse pads, all kinds of fun stuff. And all you have to do is participate with us. So if you have 7 events, you better make sure you show up on Sunday and participate in both the sprint and the feature to get your 8th event in to be eligible. Also, Friday at 11:59 p.m., the entry period for the raffle will close. So if you had any interest getting entered for the Cube Control CSX3 Formula style wheel with backlit buttons, full color display, which I believe is touchscreen, and all the carbon fiber and aluminum goodies, be sure to check out the giveaway section in the Discord and get you entered. We will not be taking entries after 11:59 p.m. Friday, so if you don't get in, you don't get in. So if you have any interest, be proactive, get that out of the way. I believe we have 29 entries at the moment. That's only open to 50 entries, so 21 entries remain. So still an opportunity out there if you have interest. Other things going on while these guys are lapping. We have the end of the season coming up, and Rich Hibbs has a fun endurance race. It's a 3-hour endurance race coming up here in a few weeks. Check out the Discord for more info, or hit Richard Hibbs up in the DMs. It's either 1 or 2-person teams, and just a fun endurance race. I know some of you guys out there love it. It's going to be around VIR in GT3 cars. There'll be 2 classes, Pro and Am, and rather looking forward to it. Should be a good time here in the holiday season. So let's get timing and scoring up, take a look at what is what here. Brian Beeman currently leading the charts with a 120.42, but he has Ricky Renner right behind him with a 20.5 second. Ricky's put in purple sector 3, so Ricky definitely has the pace out there. Richard Hibbs also has the pace. He just set the fastest sector 2. And with that, actually moved up into P2 with a 120.51. So Richard's on it as well. Brian Beeman, though, retaining that top spot. It's what we like to see here. Bringing the competition to Rich Hibbs, currently on a flyer. Just set a personal best sector 1. And let's see how he does in Sector 2. Keeping a super tight entry there. Getting right up to the curbing here as well. Is he going to make the next apex? Yes, he does. Carrying that speed really well. Getting to this apex gets a little tricky here because the car gets a little floaty. And lines are looking pretty solid. And Rich just a little bit behind his purple sector that he sent on Sector 2, but only by 100th. And as we cross the line here, Rich improves, sets a 120.34. Nice job, Rich. Pretty solid lap. Brian Beeman coming across the line as well. Does he improve? He improved over his previous lap, but not over his best. Currently, his best still sitting at that 120.42. So right now, top three is Rich Hibbs, Brian Beeman, and Ricky Renner. Brandon Powell also real close as well. Only a couple of tenths behind Ricky Renner. Ooh, getting sideways. Certainly earns you style points, but is not the fastest way around the track. Well managed, though. Definitely don't think he will be setting personal best this lap. Mitch Bowen. Also in the 120s. Have 5 cars in the 120s right now. And is currently setting pretty competitive sectors. Has not gotten any personal bests unless he has a flyer here. The sector 3, pretty sure it's only about 13.9 seconds. What does Mitch do? Mitch does not improve that lap either. Did set a personal best that time around on sector 3. It just was not enough. Let's take a look at Wishon, and just getting a little too greedy on that last turn. It really invites you to use all the track and then some, but unfortunately just took a little bit too much. We're going to follow Brandon Dooley because right now he's on a ton of personal bests, though that slide there from the rear end is not going to help. Managed it well, but any kind of sliding, well, not in all cases, but in most cases, is robbing you of lap time. So you want to try to be right on that edge of traction here without sliding a lot. That sliding usually creates more sliding because it raises the surface temp on the tire and thus makes it a lot more likely that you will slide. All right. Brandon Dooley does improve, but not enough to pass Rick Wishon. Currently at a 21.03, only 2 100ths behind Rick Wishon. Rick in the pits, so it does not appear that he's going to be setting any more laps. Same thing with Brian Beeman. Brian's also in the pits. Only threats that are going to be out there for the top 3 will be P3 himself, Ricky Renner. Brandon Powell also out there. Nobody really improving, though. Keep an eye on Ricky's time. Got TJ out there who has set 2 personal bests. TJ looking pretty good. Ricky Renner just tied his personal best in Sector 2. Coming around the line, 120.42 to beat. And he does not improve and sends it. Brandon going around. Yep, that's going to wrap up qualifying. We'll get your grid up on screen.
15-minute race. Then we'll have a 5-minute warm-up. Then we'll have a 15-minute feature with a top 5 reverse grid. iRacing, or the green flag will be on the leader or the iRacing green flag, whichever comes first. Good luck, have fun, thanks for coming out, and don't die.
Wise words from Mr. Dooley. So, rolling starts here in this series. Richard Hibbs has a pretty substantial lead, so I'm not sure if he's going to be under a threat, but P2 is certainly under contention.
Good luck, Rich.
Thank you.
Let's see, who else? Would help if I pull my timing and scoring up. Why don't we do that? There's my points. Yeah, currently pretty close battle between Brian and Philip Scott. Philip Scott currently P8. So, not sure. Yeah, not sure he's in the best position, but, you know, Philip's definitely going to send it. And you can always count on him to do so. He's got a lot of heavy lifting, though. He has to basically outfinish or outplace Brian Beeman to have a shot at moving up that second place, currently with about a 300-point deficit. Both drivers have a drop that's going to come into play, which will make it interesting. Brandon Dooley also right there in the mix as well, currently sitting in P4 and definitely is in fighting distance with Brian and Philip. So we certainly could see a shuffle there. Looking at the scoring, TJ Allman pretty highly placed there in silver, and right above him actually is Jeff Peters, one of our bronze drivers. He is definitely the highest placed bronze driver, which is what we like to see. Is JP out there today? He is, so he is definitely in it to win it from a championship perspective. So waiting for the green, and there we go. Rich Hibbs taking off. And everybody pretty polite so far. No pushing or anything. That's real interesting. Ricky Renner, though, putting Rich under pressure, hanging around the outside, and he's ahead by a nose, but we're about to go left, which is going to put him likely in the lead, and indeed it does. Rich lets him go. And he's trying to pull an over-under on him, but Ricky, pretty good amount of momentum there. Staying ahead. Rich did get side by side though, so now he's going to have the inside for this left-hander. And gets ahead. And is able to keep it for the next turn. Nice job, Rich. We got a whole lot of passing going on here. Looks like Mitch got around Brandon Dooley. And then Brandon got right back around. Let's see what happened. Yeah, Mitch getting on that inside, tucking in there. And tries to hang it out. He's got to lift a little bit to give Brandon room, and that allows Brandon to get on by. Back up front. No changes in the order. But we currently have Ricky Renner just sticking the car where he needs to, but just not quite enough to get it done. Practically pushing Rich here into the next complex, still not close enough. And backs off a little bit and resets. This is good fighting. Oh no, Mitch went off track, Phil went off track. Well, Phil had a moment. Let's see if we can catch it real quick. Oh yeah, outside tires were in the grass when we went to turn in and had no grip as a result. Yeah, that's a, ooh, big tank slapper. Way to save it, Phil. Definitely not what he needs, but you know what? He kept it out of the wall, so still has a chance to fight on back. Only 2.5 minutes into this sprint race, so lots of opportunity. We'll keep an eye on these guys looking further back. We have Brian Beeman right behind Brandon Powell, about 4/10, and then Brandon Dooley, we're going to go to him. He is pushing Brian down the track as Ricky Renner gets a good run going side by side with Rich Hibbs into turn 1. And I think he is going to... No, Rich is coming back. Rich, momentum management.
Rich is being stubborn.
Yeah, Rich is definitely being stubborn. Woo. Everybody going through the gravel, but making it through, and Rich is going to come out on top this time around. Jesus, they all pile in here to the hairpin. Is Stubborn Rich in the broadcast booth?
Yes, he is.
Heck yeah, welcome, Rich. Looks like Ricky Renner wasn't going to let you go without a fight, but he lost out in the shuffling here. Now you have Brandon Powell behind. How do you feel about that?
Brandon Powell set the fastest lap last time by, so he's coming.
Yes, he is. How's the draft out here? I didn't get any practice laps in, so have no sense of it.
Pretty strong down the front straight, and also plays a factor after turn 3 it is.
Ah. And here they come. And Ricky loves that inside move into turn 1, able to get it. Brandon was a little nice there on the brakes and might pay a bit of a penalty on it because Brian Beeman now alongside and making his way through. Yeah, Brandon Powell.
Sorry, Brian.
Brandon Powell being punished for being nice. Currently now down to P5 from P2 in only a few corners. Now that we know the draft is strong, though, he's definitely still in drafting distance, so he should be able to pull himself back into contention. Still 10 minutes to go this time by. And speaking of Brandon's, Brandon Dooley is looking feisty now. Gained some positions in that shuffle and is latched on to the rear end of Brian. Top 3 separated by about a second. So it's going to be another interesting turn 1 for Rich. Ooh, and Brian's sending it. Hell yeah.
Big send.
Oh, massive, massive glow from the front brakes. That was probably right on the limit. Brandon Dooley now side by side with Ricky Renner. And making things interesting coming into the next complex. Still side by side. Brandon's got the run on the inside, but Ricky's not letting it go. And Brandon concedes the position. See, this is why we love this MX-5 series. Everybody is so close together. And now the top 6 separated by, gosh, hardly any time. Maybe 2.25 seconds.
And it all should close back up by the end of the front straight.
Yep. I think we're right aboard with Wishan. Wishan pulling in on Brandon Powell, about a 10th behind. He's certainly going to have an opportunity. Backs out of it, though. Lets him go as this field continues to compress.
Runner runs a bit wide in P3. Might open the door for Dooley.
Indeed it does. Dooley now along the outside and is going to get the position from Renner. Definitely loving what I'm seeing here. Was that amount in the gravel considered an off track?
Nope.
Nice. Have to thank the iRacing gods.
Doesn't have to throw gravel at everyone behind and not to get an off track.
Well, the VR users will certainly thank you for that. It's nice to have the shit scared out of you when rocks suddenly fly in your vision that you weren't expecting.
This is going to be a hard lead to keep this lap. I think Ryan's going to send it pretty hard into turn 1, so let's see if I can defend this.
And I think you're right. Interval's coming down, but so...
Pushing.
Ooh.
You're going to have to stay tight just to keep it fair here.
And Brandon has a run. And somehow, Rich Hibbs is able to hold on to it. I don't know if Brian's got some money on Rich winning this race or what, but he certainly helped out there because Brandon was coming. And now Ricky throwing it around the outside and is going to get that move done. Oh gosh, we probably had 15 position changes here just in the top 3.
I think the intensity is starting to ramp up behind me. It's going to get a little dicey for these next couple minutes. We got 5 minutes left, just over. So see how this goes towards the end here.
Yeah, sounds about right. And I wonder, are we getting to the point where enough energy's been put into the tires that slip's going to become a factor?
The tire holds on pretty good here, but we'll see. Usually it just gives up more understeer.
Hopefully you can use that to your advantage going through turn 1 again, side by side with Ricky. And again, able to maintain a ton of momentum. Ricky got that inside though. Brandon Dooley helping you out though. Oh boy, and this is not over, and we're about to have 5 cars send it in here at the same time. Jeez, and everybody able to keep this aggression under control. It's very impressive from the group. As close as everybody is, it would be very easy to get lulled into a sense of just wanting to send it. But you still got to keep your car under control with this many people in such close proximity. Top 6 doing a great job in executing that. Ooh, Brandon getting all the inside curve there.
Little touch mid-corner with Renner there, almost set me around.
Yowza.
Yeah, the lift because of it, and here comes Dooley.
Ooh, side by side into turn 1 again. Brandon as late as possible on the brakes. They were glowing like crazy. And now it's going to get interesting for Rich, losing a little bit of momentum. Down to P3, but we know that's temporary as much as these positions have been changing. Brian Beeman thinking about giving Rich a run there. Backs out, thinks better of it.
And one of the downsides to how I configured it for the broadcast is I can't hear my spotter.
Ah, well, keeps things interesting. Speaking of spotting, I wonder, 12 minutes into this race, I wonder if where you're currently at is the advantageous place to be, just to set up the draft at the last possible minute here in the closing lap. Should have about 2 laps to go. And Ricky again, getting it on the inside. Brian pushing Rich a little bit there.
Dooley got in a little bit into Renner there on the exit of the corner.
That's
But they sorted it out.
that they did. Very few front bumpers here that are looking perfect anymore. And I got to give these guys some love that are behind the top three because they're going at it side by side again from Brian Beeman getting around Powell. And Rick Wishon just lurking in P6 has been there the whole sprint. Just waiting for that opportunity to pounce. Have to keep an eye on him. Only about 12 milliseconds behind Brandon Powell here. And
Across the line with 7 seconds to spare. We're going to get 2 laps here.
It's going to be interesting. Brandon sending it on Ricky. Not going to happen this time, but Brandon has a pretty good run out of turn 1. Has the momentum. Is he going to be nice and let him go, or is he going to force a 2-wide situation? I think he's thinking about 2 wide. Ooh, all the sliding. Just didn't get that front end. The hook up pushed pretty wide there. He's going to fall behind Brian Beeman. And just like that, Rich Hibbs up to P2. With what I'm assuming will be the white flag lap coming up. We're going to be on...
Should be.
Yeah, should be an out sprint here. And I think whoever makes it through turn 1 is probably going to be in position to take the victory here. As the lights change.
Day-night transition happens.
Perfect timing.
I have to keep them tight here. Might be able to pull it off.
The outside move has worked for Rich here earlier in the sprint. Let's see if it works again. Carrying a ton of momentum, and he is firmly in the lead here by about a half a car length.
Here's hoping they fight behind me.
And I think you're getting that fight. Ricky side by side now with Brian. Ricky going a little bit wide into the gravel is going to lose some momentum, and that's going to allow Brian to get ahead. And now Brandon Dooley going for the pass on the outside. Oof. Brandon really getting pushed wide there. Able to keep it under control.
Last lap has been made a little bit more interesting by the day-to-night transition because brake markers have changed.
Good thing that did not happen mid-corner into turn 1. Brian doing what he can here to finish as high as possible to defend his P2 here in the series.
Drag race to the line.
And I think Rich is going to get it. Congratulations, Rich. Finishing P1. Beeman gets P2. And Brandon sends it out there in the infield. Everybody's sending it into the infield. Beautiful. And
the jump is fun.
Jump is a good time. Let's see, we still have some drivers coming across track, or the finish rather. P9 is going to be TJ and Sean Bay coming around to round out our top 10 with JP and Nathan Nickerson in tow.
So a really clean race. There doesn't look like there's any 2Xs or 4Xs generated during that race, and didn't see any meatball flags or anything, so looks like everyone had a good time.
Heck yeah. I can't wait to hear everybody's feedback because the racing was close for the entire 15 minutes. Battles everywhere. Boom. All right, well, I'm going to get the results up here for the broadcast.
Okay, 5-minute warm-up, then we'll be back for another 15 minutes.
And during this 5-minute break, we're going to take a break as well, and we'll be back at it before the feature kicks off. All right, we are back here in the broadcast booth, just waiting for the drivers to grid up here. Have about 5 seconds to go, and then we will get rolling. Brandon Powell going to be starting in P1 with the inverted top 5. Ricky Renner will be P2, and Brandon Dooley will round out the top 3 here with our top 5 inversion. Race will start on the leader or the green flag, whichever is first. And away we go. Brandon Powell getting an excellent run down into turn 1. Brandon Dooley, though, getting right next to Ricky Renner. We're going to see who comes out on top. Cold tires, but the Mazda's pretty forgiving here. And Ricky going to get out in front. Looks like Rich Hibbs had a bit of a mugging at the start. Rick Wishon getting ahead as TJ goes around. TJ falling victim to cold tires here. Ooh. Car up the inside and
I'm sorry, man. I lost
think
complete control there.
Phil just got harpooned by the car that went off track. Get these replays
That might
here
have
in a
been
second.
Mitch.
I do believe it was Mitch. Let's see where our drivers are right now. Looks like we have Ricky Renner a couple tenths behind Brandon Powell. And we're going to keep an eye on these guys here. Once we get through turn 1, we'll get to the replays, see what happened. Till then, Brandon Powell going side by side with Ricky. Looks like he is going to get alongside, but we'll see who the winner is in turn 1. Brandon Dooley and Brian Beeman also side by side. Ricky's going to take it for now, and Brandon Dooley coming out on top in the second row battle as we go through a reshuffle. All right, so Tim Allman has spin actually right here last lap. Let's take a look, see what happened. Yep, already sideways at the beginning of the turn and just loops it around. Keeps it out of the wall though. Great job. And then Mitch went on a ride. Trying to get around the outside, taps the back of Phil, which puts him into the grass. He is full brakes, but nothing he can do there in the grass and ends up harpooning Phil. Definitely no fault of Mitch's. He's just a passenger
Ricky.
At that stage.
Nah, respect.
You got a lead change up front.
Thanks for the heads up. Does look like we have Ricky Renner up front with Brandon Dooley in tow. Brandon Powell behind. And we're going to ride along here with Brandon as he goes side by side. But not quite going to get it done. And Rich Hibbs going up the inside of Brian Beeman. A little bit of bump in there, but that's okay. Rich going to take that P5. Let's see the sequence of events that kick this all off. All right. Previous lap going into turn 1. Brandon Dooley was briefly around Ricky Renner. You know what? I chose the wrong replay. Why don't we do that again? Much better. So Powell sends it on Ricky Renner and briefly gets ahead but goes wide, allowing Ricky to get ahead and Brandon Dooley to come in for that P3. And around the penultimate corner we go again. Brandon Dooley now up front. Hard to look away for any time here because positions keep changing. And Rich Hibbs getting up into P4 here into the braking zone and maybe a P3. Nice job, Rich. Gets it done. Keeps the car there on the inside line. Able to get that position from Brandon Powell, who unfortunately loses out in the shuffle to Rick Wishon as well. While the top two use all the gravel and then some. I want to see this pass on Ricky Renner from Brandon Dooley. We're going to take a look here. That happened going into turn 3, and Brandon just able to stick it around the outside, and Ricky backs out of it, lets him take it. Nice job, Brandon. And these two fighting is really allowing Rich Hibbs the opportunity to pull right up to the back of Ricky Renner, and now only 4/10 behind as we enter the back straight, or the front straight rather.
Looks like we had another accident at the end of lap 1 with Sean Day as well, who got a meatball. Don't know if he was involved in that incident with Phil or not.
Ooh, thank you for the heads up. I do see it in the recording here. And I don't think we're going to have any position changes here, so let's take a look. Alright, Chambe going around the last corner, gets it into the gravel and just loops him into the only tire barrier that's anywhere near him. That's crazy. Looks like the car is okay, but he chose to tow. Yeah, that was a weird spin here from Sean. Just dropped the left tire, left rear into the gravel, and then it hooked the car to the left.
And it looks like we had Nathan have a spin as well.
Indeed we did. Should have enough time to take a peek at that. Nathan also just getting a little bit unlucky with the weight change at the rear. Loops that right around.
2 wide into 1.
Indeed, we're looking at it right now. Ricky Renner and Brandon Dooley were side by side. Ricky Renner ahead by a nose. Brian Beeman thinking about sending it on Rich. Gets up onto the curbing and stays out of the way. But loses the position to Rick Wishon. Rick, last race and now this race, is really good at getting right up to the bumper of the car ahead. He's just got to get a little bit more brave on the brakes, and he's going to turn into a weapon here. Everybody, speaking of the brakes, is really pushing it. This is the first time I've seen everybody's brakes glow in the same turn. Super cool to see this at night. And we're going to hang out with Rich Hibbs and Rick Wishon. See how this turns out. Ahead of them, Brandon Dooley and Ricky Renner going at it.
Do I try on the outside? Ah, Brandon covered it off.
Well, maybe you can follow him. Not now, though. Oh, this is going to get real interesting. Oh, no, Rick Wishon. Rick isn't going to force it too wide yet. Ahead, though, it's going to be too wide. Brandon Dooley this time with the inside. Definitely learned from previous attempts, not ending up on that outside line.
This track is super inviting for you to just roll deeper on the brakes around the outside, but it usually results in a freight train effect and you lose a spot, like just what happened behind me with Rick. You almost dropped back a bunch of spots there.
That he did, and he is still under threat to Brian. And if Brian gets a run out of here, he is going to be in some serious trouble. But you know what? I think Rick's going to luck out. He's also in the draft, and Brian did not get a run. You know who does have a run? Ricky Renner. Going side by side again into turn 1. Brandon on the outside this time. And Brandon not quite able to keep enough momentum there on the outside. It's allowing Richard Hibbs to get up into P2. No overlap, so he's in good shape. I'm assuming Rich has his spotter back.
Not really.
Ah, good faith in Brandon Dooley then. That was tight.
Renner goes around.
And Renner loops it. I know Brandon tapped him. Rich, did you tap him?
Nope.
All right, so Brandon got a little tap on the spin by, and this is going to reshuffle us yet again. Ricky now about 5 seconds behind. Brandon Powell was able to get it going quickly. This is going to make turn 1 super interesting. Now everybody is super compressed. Brandon Powell currently with a run side by side with Rick. And that's not Rick, that's Brian. And 2x2 behind Richard. I'm just waiting for these guys to send it in 3 wide. I've almost had it a couple of times. And in the shuffle, looks like Brandon Dooley's going to be ahead of Rick Wishon. Until that trip into the gravel.
It was a little bit on me. I had checked up a little bit, got a little squirrely, and Brandon had to lift mid-corner. But hopefully he recovered.
And he is right there. He definitely has time with 12 minutes into this 15-minute race to reel you guys back in, so definitely still in it. Let's take a look at what went down with Ricky.
Rick's going by already. Messed up.
And Ricky just leaning on the rears a little too much there. Loop-de-loop. Rick Wishon getting around Rich Hibbs. We're going down into turn 1. Worry not, folks. We're going to catch that in the replay. Have it queued up. But first, we're going to see if Rich can take it back here. Going down the inside. Brandon Powell also in there. As well as Brian Beeman. And Rich Hibbs does get the position. Rick Wishon looking feisty here in the feature. And Beeman trying to hang it on the outside around Powell. Currently side by side here going in. Ooh, and Powell gets a little bit in the grass. Managed to keep it under control. That easily could have gone real bad.
That brings Brandon Dooley back into the fight for P3.
That it does. Ooh, and Wishon with tons of momentum out of that last turn. Thought he was going to send it on you there.
So did I. White flag. We crossed 2 seconds earlier, or are crossing a couple seconds earlier than we were. It's going to be tight because it only takes us about 1:20 to get around, and that's how much we crossed here. So.
And side by side they go. A little bit of bumping and banging here in turn 1. Everybody looks like they're all right though, but that's going to allow Rick to get up into P1. And I see JP and Courtney Nickerson also lighting up my scoring screen here with off tracks. We'll check that out in a minute, but we're going to stay on board with these guys. And Rich lining it up. Not going to get done yet, or will it? Has a good run in the inside, but Wishon carried quite a bit of speed. Still managing to stay ahead. Right now we have Rick Wishon P1, Rich Hibbs P2, Brian Beeman P3. We have Brandon Powell in P4 and Brandon Dooley in P5. Any one of these positions could change here in the next corner. Right now, Rick Wishon, though, has a chance to take the checkered
Sorry
flag.
about that little bump on turn 1, Hibbs. I was trying to hold it in tight. Kept sliding out.
And Rick's going to get it done. Congrats. Rich Hibbs finishing P2. Brian Beeman gets that P3. And Brandon Powell securing P4. With Brandon Dooley remaining in that P5 position. Nice job, fellas.
Good racing, guys. That was a lot of fun.
I have a lot of replay to catch up on here.
That was amazing racing. That was awesome.
So let's catch the Brandon Dooley incident. Gets a little bit more of a run than I think he expected. Taps the back of Rich Hibbs and in the process tries to get it slowed down. Gets up on the curbing and that just unsettled him getting through there. Did a good job keeping it under control. Let's see, then we have Brandon Powell going off track. And going off track, avoiding Brandon Dooley. Did a good job there and did not cost him a whole lot. Then JP goes off track. Same corner. Just think he's carrying a little too much momentum here. Got off throttle and then the car understeered. Courtney Nickerson also at almost the same time. Isaac thinks she crashed. She loses the rear end. Car is just unweighted and rear tires weren't ready for it. And that is the end of my replay chaos. Let's get the results up here on the board. Rich, how do you feel about all that?
It was a great battle. Everyone was being pretty respectful, and racing was good and hard. Great season all season long as well. Great to see so many people come out for a Tuesday night league. Yeah, it was lots of fun all season long, and tonight was just a continuation of that.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. Super grateful everybody has come out this season. It's been fun watching you all go at it. The action is not finished though. Dark Helmet Racing League has one more race coming up. This Sunday will be the penultimate round of the GTD Challenge. Lots of battles still on the line. And we will be at the legendary Spa-Francorchamps circuit. So rather looking forward to that. Sounds like there is, if not going to be a transition, might be a fully night race. You're going to have to either come race it with us or check out the broadcast. Should be interesting. Spa always has a ton of action. After that, we're going to go into an off season of interesting events. I don't know if we've made all the decisions yet on what's going to happen, but there should be some fun races. Rich, what else do we have going on in the off season? We have an endurance event coming up, correct?
Yep, we got a 3-hour endurance with GT3 cars at VIR. It should be lots of fun. We're going to have full course cautions that if anybody gets a meatball flag will be thrown, plus also 50% fuel limit, just like our normal Sunday night league. So fuel or tire strategy will definitely play a huge factor in that race. So where the yellows fall and how your tire strategy works could really change up that race. Should be lots of fun. If you haven't signed up yet, please do. The registration is in the Discord in the announcements. Sign up, you'll get the link. It'll be password protected in hosted sessions. So if you haven't signed up yet, please do so, and we hope to get you guys out. And then the following week on the on the following Sunday. We're going to be doing a bit of a holiday festival race. We're going to run GT3 cars again, but decorate them like a holiday sweater or whatever you want to do here. And we're probably going to do like super sprint format for races. So just some quick short races on a really tight short track for the GT3s. So that should be lots of fun for the next 2 weeks. What we have after that, I don't know. We'll figure it out on the fly here, but something between Christmas and the New Year there.
Well, that's what keeps things interesting. Don't want to know it all. So thank you for the preview. Super excited for the events coming up. And for those of you that have been running with us, if you are involved in the raffle or if you have got earned your entries for the giveaways, come hang out with us Tuesday evening, December 9th at 9 p.m. Eastern for the giveaway drawing and the raffle drawing. Super excited, lots on the line there, and it's all in our appreciation for you coming out and helping make this league the fun league that it is. Your resources in the Discord, your action on track makes this league what it is. So thank you. Look forward to getting those prizes out. So that's going to do it here for me. Any parting words, Rich, before we take off?
No, nothing for me.
Wonderful. Well, my name is Morgan with Cleveland Beamer Sim Sports. I appreciate you coming out. This has been another Dark Helmet Racing League presentation, and we will catch you on Sunday.